He fucked that cow.
Oh, the cow.
Wait, we're gonna get going in just a minute.
All right. I have her and he tried to dry hump me.
With a cow?
The cow tried to get on me.
I just walked into a cow trying to dry hump attendees, and I know I'm in the right panel.
It was utterly ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, the open mic, folks.
And it's 8 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FurSquared Open Mic! Yay!
Insert fur noises here.
Did you start fart noises? Thanks.
Fur noises.
Oh, fur noises. Okay, I thought you just like lined the room with whoopee cushions.
We could bring it back to that year.
We are, oh no. Okay, if you ever run a con, huge piece of advice. Whoopee cushions, terrible con gift. Oh man, did that con get loud.
Do you want a 200% increase in your attendance? Get whoopee cushions.
Incorrect. The 200 increase with the attendance was when we gave them all kazoos and then they formed a parade. That was ridiculous and I loved it.
That was when I drew that giant thing about kazoos.
Yes, it was. That was so much fun. All right. Way to go in here. Once again, we are going to give you a time limit of 5 minutes. You can go as short as you want. If you want to walk up here and tell a knack-knack joke, please feel free to do so. We're all here just to have a good time. As usual, we're going to say this. There's a lot of different types of humor out there, and some of them take more skill than others. There's a few of them that we're not going to do here tonight. First off, no shock humor, please. If you don't know what shock humor is, please don't come up here and start talking about guzzling blank in the blank with blank and then blank the tank. You don't need any of that, and don't forget he did fuck that cow. On the other hand, we also are not looking for any kind of racist humor. That's just not what furries are. No one in this room is going to enjoy that humor, so let's not do that. Other than that, guys, come up here, have a good time. And the one piece of advice I will give you, as a storytelling comedian myself, always remember one thing. You can have the greatest punchline in the world. You could tell the most unbelievable story with the most unbelievable occurrence at the end. But if it takes you 5 minutes to get to that ending, and you have not had a laugh the whole way there, no matter how good that ending is, it's not a good joke. You gotta bring the audience in with you. Punch up your joke. Don't say it was a dark night. How dark was it? Don't say why you were in don't say you were in a location. Why were you in a location? Add to your story. If you can keep the audience with you for the full journey to that punchline, I will tell you this right now, that will be your killer joke. If you have a killer punchline, all you gotta do is make it work in the format of a joke. So, I'm going to have Ronnie come up here with me for a moment, guys. We are going to be running this panel. Did you want to help run the panel, or did you want to go up on stage? Good, yeah, you're up here too. Ladies and gentlemen, the three of us are going to be running open mic. May I introduce my panelists? Give it up for Ronnie! And once again, guys, a good friend of mine who I totally thought was just going to die trying to get on the stage. Give it up for Boozy Barrister!
You're insured.
I'm not as insured as you think. Guys, what we're going to be doing is, in this front row, we will be timing the set. At 4 minutes, I will stand up and stand by one of the speakers, letting you know you have 1 minute left. At 5 minutes, give or take, if it goes way over 5, I will have to cut you off. I want to have time for everyone. And after that, we will give very friendly critiques. No one is here to hurt feelings. That is not what we want. We want to help you so that the next time you get up on the stage, that you will be able to tell those jokes, you'll be more comfortable, and you're going to be more situated for in front of an audience, because in the end, we're all going to kill each other. You guys need to be the comedians when we're dead. This is it. Roller coaster. So guys, who would like to go first for FurSquared Year 7 Open Mic? Oh my God, we've been here for 7 years. Oh, that's terrifying. All right, crazy person, come on up, and how would you like to be introduced?
Lonely Shepherd.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Lonely Shepherd!
God, you've been severely uninsured for 7 years?
I've been severely uninsured for most of this con.
Anybody want to hear a story of how my life revolves around fires?
Oh.
So, I have come to the conclusion that my life revolves around events chronologically of me falling into a bonfire when I was 16, me starting a grease fire at my work when I was 18, and several fires breaking out randomly at my new job that I've been around. I didn't start these. Allegedly. The first one was, I did not know Jello shots were a thing. 16-year-old me, hungry at a graduation party, eats 32 Jello shots from the fridge. And my boyfriend at the time finds me on the ground, just surrounded by Jello. And I'm like, what? Never been drunk in my life before. Never even tasted beer. I was just like, oh, Jello tastes kind of messed up. And as I stumble to the campground where we all stayed, I see a giant bonfire. And I'm like, that bonfire needs a hug. And I just start running. And I'm beelining towards this. My boyfriend at the time and his 3 also drunk friends see me and just start barreling towards me. And I trip and I go straight into it. I'm like, that's a little hot for my face. And just as I'm about to fall straight burst into fire, my boyfriend grabs me by the ponytail, pulls me up, and I'm just like, well, why'd you do that for? And then he lets me stumble off and goes to sleep. I slept up. I didn't wake up hungover, and I acted like nothing happened. They're like, aren't you going to talk about how, like, you're covered in soot? And I'm like, what? No way. I'm great. 100%. And then, but now we've cut forward 2 years from then. I've learned what Jello shots are. I've gotten a job. First job. And it's a manager position. How I got this manager position? Third day on the job. Manager walks out screaming at the store owner, I hate you, you son of a bitch, get fucked. And he's like, well, who's going to run the store? And she's like, points to me, she is. And I'm like, oh. So my response is, as a teenager would do, an 18-year-old mind you, who is an adult now, who pays taxes. Okay. So I'm in charge of this bakery for 6 months. Everything's going great. I'm a cake decorator, doing all that fun jazz. And then they asked me to change the deep fryer. I've not done this yet. And so I do it, and we have these chunks of lard, and I pull them all over the grease fire, I turn it on, like all over the deep fryer, turn it on, I put the grease on too thin, so as soon as I turn on those coils, my arm hair is gone, and I'm like, oh shit, that's a fire. And I look over to my coworker, and I'm like, hey, do you know where the fire extinguisher is? And she's like, no, wait. And we just sit there and watch this thing burn for a solid 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, do we do something? And she's like, eh. And just continues doing her job. So my response as any manager of a bakery, let's just put a lid on that. and it put out the fire. But now, cut now ahead to now. Age 22, new job, not manager. I'm just working in a factory. We make filters. Those shouldn't catch on fire, but they do.
Oh, dear God. Oh my God.
I am casually just chilling on my line, doing my thing, and all of a sudden I just see a flaming inferno coming down the line. I'm almost like, oh shit, that's on fire. And my coworker's just like, oh shit, that's on fire. And his regular response is to, with the pliers, grab the thing on fire, pull it out of the machine, throw it on the store, and stomp on it. And I'm just like, just nice little applause, doing like, good job, and continue on with my day. But now I know what caused the fire. When he's not there, once again, the line lead, no one's in charge of this line. I know how to deal with this fire. And a coworker pisses me off. He says he knows how to run the line and everything is under control. I see the same thing happen. And the fire comes down and I'm like, I say nothing. I'm like, okay. He sees it, he panics, and then he gets a fire extinguisher. And it's over a hot heating device that is 600 degrees. He hits it with the fire extinguisher, it starts again, and again, and again. And after he gets it out, I look at him and just points to a little level. There's a thing that you hit to make the fire go out. Anyway, that's my skit. My life revolves around fire.
Holy crap. Guys, give him a round of applause. What the hell? All right, so first thing I want to say, your structure is outstanding. Being able to go fire to fire to fire, I absolutely love it. Everything is cohesive. That works so well.
I just came off that off the top of my head.
But it works. Having cohesiveness through multiple stories adds so much to it. My one critique to you, that factory thing, a flaming pile of stuff is coming down a conveyor belt. Bring us there. Describe that moment. Because in my mind, that is terrifyingly hysterical. If you can bring people into that joke, bring them into your world, get those descriptions, get those joke swinging descriptions, you have an unbelievable set. Work on that, and please do this again next year. Same set with all the punch-up. I'm telling you, you'll kill it. That was outstanding. Guys, one more round of applause, please.
I'm just imagining that bakery right now smelling really good because you've got that burnt toast smell everywhere, and it's just like, did we put this out?
That bakery got closed down.
Probably because of the fire!
No, I left, and then everybody quit.
Because they didn't have a fire. They couldn't cook anything.
I see your coworker in my mind's eye. Should put out.
Yep.
She's just, my coworker's just response is just deadpan.
Your
Should we put it up?
Your
No,
coworker missed the fire safety instruction day.
We were
That's for
never
sure.
trained in fire safety.
That's not good.
You're not supposed to admit that in front of a lawyer.
That's
Allegedly, you missed the fire safety.
There we go.
Allegedly, we didn't even have a fire extinguisher.
Okay, we're finding this bakery.
I like this bakery.
No, you can't find anything more. It's closed.
That doesn't mean we can't find the old owner.
They got
We
him.
have the internet.
They got underground.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, both and neither. Who would like to go next? Raise your hand. I saw it over here. How am I introducing you? Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Eric!
Okay, hard to follow the fire story, but I'm going to try. So now, who here has that one relative in their lives who just knows how to take advantage of a very unusual situation? Honestly, raise your hands. Who's got that? Okay, yourself doesn't count. For me, that is my father. He just knows how to take advantage of any situation, whether it's just mundane, as we're walking along, doing our regular thing at home. He just says, "Here, hold out your hand," and you don't think 2 seconds of it. You just hold out your hand. He puts something in your hand and starts running, and you wonder for a split second and wonder why he's running, and then you feel the object in your hand moving, and you look down. It's a freaking nightcrawler. But the top story that I have, it's a short one, is something that he pulled on my uncle. Now, my uncle's a very hard man to scare. It's like, if you can scare this man, it's a triumph. It's like winning the Super Bowl. And it actually involves around the paranormal. My uncle's a believer in the paranormal. And oddly enough, this story happens at a funeral wake. So, they're there attending the ceremony and whatnot. And all of a sudden, my uncle says, "Hey, I think I saw something move down there." He starts walking down this random hallway, and not knowing that my father is behind him. My father blows on the back of my uncle's neck, and my uncle freezes, locks up like a brick. And so my father blows on the back of his neck again, and he said he could see the hairs on the back of my uncle's neck just stand straight up. And he slowly starts turning around, thinking that there is some sort of entity behind him or nothing at all behind him. And a split second later, there was nothing behind him except for a trail of smoke. As my father knew it was best to up and disappear like a fart in the wind. So, this is, to sum it up, if you ever meet my father, watch out. And that's it.
Okay, I like your dad right off the bat. You got a really good bit. about your father and being a practical. You have a really good bit there about your father and being a practical joker, and I love it. I love the storytelling. I love the interaction with the uncle. You could make so much more out of that on it. So you went for about 2.5 minutes on it. You can stretch that story with the funeral home out to 4 minutes alone.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there, so I couldn't stretch it out.
But part of it is you don't have to tell it exactly how it happened or it was told to you. Embellish a little, add facts. Maybe your uncle heard something, look behind him 3 times. Your dad's behind the plan, things like that. But that would be a wonderful bit, and you've got a
now
really
that you
good work
mentioned it,
on
there was a lot in the middle. I just remembered.
Yeah, but that happens all the time, man. You walk up there, you know exactly what's got to go, and then halfway through you go, and then the Chihuahua ran out.
The Chihuahua.
Just out of nowhere.
That's where she went.
She's
But
always there.
You have the workings of a really good bit there. So I'd love to hear it again.
One more round of applause. Thank you so much. All right, who would like to try next? Who would like to try the FurSquared Year 7 open mic? Here, come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for what?
Fusion.
Oh, we're changing it? Sorry, my bad. See, this is why I asked
This is the
everyone. They
remix.
changed the It's fine. No, that's what happens to me. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Lord Fusion!
All right, I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be kind of short, but who here wants to hear my first FurSquared? Well, here we are.
Oh my God.
Anyway, to build on it, this started about 2 weeks ago. This guy right here said, "Hey, you want to come up here?" I was like, "Yeah." So I asked work. Well, we don't know if you can have that time off. So they kind of said, "Man, yeah, you can't really go." And then a week after, I contact him back saying, "Oh, work decided, hey, you can go. It's our slow time of the year." So what I do, I contact him back saying I can go. And we're both ecstatic, screaming up and down. But the next person I tell after him is Ernor. Ernor decides he's going to work on a poster for this year. I will tell you a little bit about this poster. It involves the poster to Blade Runner. And it has many of the people you will know at this convention on it. We will have this man right here. It will have this man right here.
Yay!
It will have your con chair on it. And a cockroach. Right now, I am working on getting this printed for this convention. So, make sure you all save up your money for the charity auction. But, to continue my story to this trip, it started at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this morning. Why do I say Eastern Standard Time? I live in Ohio. That's an 8-hour drive here. 8 hours. Wink like that. Until you get to Illinois by the lake. When you hit that wall of snow, and you go from 70 miles an hour straight to 30 miles an hour. Right instantly. I wasn't prepared for that. So, luckily, that week before, I had put on brand new brakes to my Equinox. And I tested them to the max. So, got through that hard part. Then, the next difficult, Chicago. I thought I was prepared for Chicago, going through Detroit, going through Indianapolis. No. I'd rather be hum than go through Chicago again. But, unfortunately, I have to go back through it come Monday morning at 8 o'clock. Fusion. Oh my God. Well, I got through Chicago easily, and then I got off at the rest stop. That rest stop, I decided to check all my Instagram and everything while I was off that rest stop. I go through there and see a tweet from Uncle Kage saying he was stuck at Chicago O'Hare, right where I was. And he had a 3-hour delay. I told him, why wait 3 hours when you can just get a car and be here in less than 2 hours? I never got a reply from that, but I thought, I was just there. It's 2 hours. Why would you wait 3 hours to travel 2? So after I got through that stop, I finally got here to Milwaukee. The first thing I noticed when I got into Wisconsin, You guys have sunshine. Are you keeping that from all of us here in Ohio? It's been 3 weeks since I saw the sun in Ohio. 3 weeks.
You should move away.
Welcome to Seattle.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Good punch up, but bring it in.
So I get here to Milwaukee. Love the sunshine. Love seeing all this glorious sun. I get out of the car. Yeah, I know why you have the sun. So you get that little ray of hope when that cold bashes you in the face. I wasn't expecting it. I left Ohio at 40 degrees and got here at freaking 4 degrees. And because I'm a cheapskate, I didn't want to drive my car over to the mall. I made the mistake of walking from this hotel to the Red Robin. I couldn't feel my face when I came back in. And that is my trip to my first ever FurSquared. And it's not even day 1 yet.
Guys, give it up for Fusion. Before you do this, I just want to... 294 goes around Chicago!
I was told
They'll never go through 94! You will be shot! You're skinny enough and they won't miss anyway! We are Chicago!
I was
Stay out of my shit! Around! Around! They never drive through the city!
They were told me that was worse.
They are wrong.
Take a ferry across Lake
All right.
Michigan.
Go ahead. I just wanted to yell at my buddy for a while. Go ahead.
I feel like I don't have the alkali voice. I need technological amplification. It's cyberskunk. I honestly think that you had an amazing, presentation and flow throughout the entire thing. You were articulate, you knew exactly what you wanted to say, and you had a lot of really, really punchy moments, such as your entire Chicago part, when you were basically just going from 40 degrees to 4 degrees. As an East Coast native, I relate to that so much, and I frankly don't know why they decided to host this con in Milwaukee in February when we could be anywhere else in the USA, to not have this little ray of sunshine bashing us in the face as we die of hypothermia.
Better than Indianapolis in August.
We can allege that it is better than Indianapolis in August, but what I did want to say on top of that was that there were, I felt, several smaller punchlines that were building up to a big punchline, but it kind of stayed at the several small punchlines when it got after the Chicago part. So everything that was in between leading up was amazing. It was well delivered, you timed everything correctly, you even took pauses, which was extremely professional. But that last little bit when you finally got here, what was that climax to that story? Because that story was just getting better and better and better, and then the climax came and it didn't punch as hard as the story leading up to it. So that's the only thing that I would say is when you get to that final ending, what was that relief? What was that salvation? Was it seeing Alkali standing at the door with his best, birthday suit on, waiting for your arrival? Was it
the best birthday suit? He already said it was 4 degrees. It wouldn't be a very good birthday suit.
It would be Alkali in au naturel. Either way,
want to go there.
Either way, it was an amazing lead up to that final part. But just remember, at the very end, when you've got the audience set up, ready to crack, punch him in the face like that ray of sunshine.
Again, that was all off the top of my head, but to go to that point, although if he had me as a birthday suit, I could have used the warmth from all that hair on him.
Miss you too, buddy. 294!
Everyone, one more time for Lord Fusion.
I do apologize. I need to take care of a quick situation, but I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. Alrighty, so we got this crowd warming up so far, and hey, we still have another 40 minutes to kill before I can kill my liver with some alcohol because I am sorely missing that. Anyone else want to go up on the stage next? We got 3 so far that were all quite excellent, and again, like Alkali said, this is a friendly stage. This is a no judgment zone. It doesn't matter whether you've been on a stage before. It doesn't matter if you've ever told a knock joke before or not. You've got your finger up. That is a sign for me that I got my finger up. I got something to say. What's your name?
Chris.
Chris. Everyone, warm round of applause for Chris.
So So this isn't a grotesque story, it's something everybody, but I'll tell you the story the last time I pooped my pants. Because we've all been there. Some of you probably more than others. So, when you get off work, you just want to leave. You don't want to do anything else. And I'm getting ready to clock out, and I'm like, I gotta poop. But the bathroom's all the way back there. You know, when you get off work, you don't turn around and go back towards where they work. Somebody grab, hey pal, come here. We're going to restock this entire area. We're going to need to stay another 3 hours. Like, no, I want to leave. I want to go home. There's no place to poop at like home. Happy little red slippers. So I start driving home. About halfway there, I feel cold sweats. Have you ever seen Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? And you got the two guys staring at each other, but there's that third scrawny guy. He's sweating, looking around. I'm holding that steering wheel like, oh, I made a mistake. So I get home, just right up to the apartment, slam the door. The door doesn't really shut unless you firmly shut it. It's like, it doesn't matter, gotta go. Run down the hall, 10 feet away, just lost it. And you just gotta stand there. Just like, you're not mad, it just happened. You're just like, all right, just gotta wait for this to finish. Check Facebook. All right, great, done. Not mad about it, but it happens. Mainly, I feel like one of those coaches at the end of the Super Bowl when they're trying to explain why they lost. They're like, well, you know, we came out here today and we did the best job we had. We thought we had a great defensive line, but we really didn't. We're going to be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. You better believe it.
I was really getting into that. I mean, not saying that I can personally relate to getting the sweats and dropping the bag at the 1 yard line.
Well, you never played football, did you?
Does curling count?
No, Canadian curling does not count.
Damn it! Context.
You have a wonderful physical style with that. That really brought me in.
I enjoy pro wrestling, so there's that kneel moment. So please clap for me. I deserve it.
Yeah. Okay, Miz.
Exactly.
The one thing I was like, hey, it's the first time I've heard something I open with. Let me tell you about how the time I shit myself. That's good. I was expecting a punch at the end.
That's the thing. There really is.
Like you brought me in by that point. I was just waiting for the punch at the end.
You were talking about the punch. I'm like, you know, if I tell the story, it doesn't end in a punch.
Yeah.
It's funny, but there's no punch to the story.
Yeah,
it
was great.
It's like I cleaned up my pants and I kept that underwear.
Yeah.
That's not punch.
That's the punch.
I cleaned my pants and then I kept the underwear because that shit's expensive.
And I love this.
I only buy like a new pair of pants every like 4 years. That's like a significant investment.
How long ago did you shit yourself?
Huh?
How long ago did you shit yourself?
How long did I?
Yeah, how long ago?
Oh, this was years ago.
Okay, so those are new pants.
These aren't even the same.
Thank God.
Sorry, folks.
I have a feeling Alkali could predict that one coming. He didn't know it was, but at that point, Alkali said, I smell it coming. I'm head out of that room right now. All right, so we have still plenty of time to go, and we got plenty of people in this room. A lot of you, I don't think I've seen a lot of you on the stage before, and again, this is a forum for you to try just coming on the stage and telling basically whatever you want to tell. Share your story, share a joke you heard. Knock joke could be, you know, a joke with a really bad punchline. It could be could be anything that you just heard off the street. But, you know, more than a joke, you want to work on providing a character for yourself. You don't want to just come up here and tell a knock joke. Tell a knock joke your way. Tell a story in your fashion. This is a perfect opportunity to do it. You're amongst friends. You're amongst basically the friendliest crowd. Borrowing a line that Kage always uses, but you're amongst the friendliest crowd that you could possibly ever be at. Oh, come on. There we go. Everyone, round of applause for Connor. Everyone, round of applause for a clause. Did I just say a clause? I'll sit myself down now. Connor. Yes, there we go. A clause for Connor, everyone. There we go. I left my English back in Canada. I'm sorry. Don't mind me here.
I feel bad for you. All right.
All right, Ryan, it's yours.
The Xbox Connect. Who remembers when that came out? 2011, right? From what I read, yeah. So, comes out in 2011, November 2011. I get it for Christmas as a family, as a gift. I'm 13 at the time. My little brother is 8. So, the Kinect, it's really awesome. You are the controller. You control everything. It matches your body movements. It does everything for you. Bullshit. So one of the games I have is Kinect Sports, and there are like five or six sports in there, and one of them is the track and field event. One of those events is javelin.
Oh, no.
So, you are to stand like this before you start. You then start doing the running in motion, and then you throw it. My thing is, I do the running motion, I start doing the skip thing, my hand comes up. Before I throw it, javelin that way. I don't know how the hell you're supposed to get it that way. One time, I did the same exact movements, I set the world record in the game. Another event is volleyball. Now, to back up a bit, my living room ceiling, 7.5 feet high. At the age, I'm 6 foot, which I am right now. I didn't grow a lot as a kid. Volleyball, same movements. You got the whole pass, you got the set, and you got the spike. Now, for sports, I am competitive as fuck, so I go all in for this shit. For a spike, I jump up, I swing my arm, forearm drags across the ceiling. It is red the entire time. Now, I mentioned my little brother who was 8 earlier, right? He wanted to play with me sometimes too, so, boxing, fair enough sport. I can kick his ass easy, right? I'm doing, the normal jabs, hooks, gut punches, blocks, ducks. He's sitting there kicking my ass, somehow with this particular style. I see my health bar going down.
Just connect button mashing.
Oh my god, yes. So next time I try the same thing. He's doing this. I'm doing this. Kick your ass. His health bar doesn't make a dent. I don't know how, I don't know why, I'm doing the same exact thing he's doing, and he's kicking my ass! Oh my god. I need to stop before I start throwing shit. Thank y'all!
I again, just as Boozy mentioned earlier, the physicality and the energy, just the raw energy that you put complemented the story so much, especially knowing that subject matter where you've got things like the Kinect. I personally had more experience with the Wii U, but that was already rage-inducing enough without needing to hit someone in the face with the boxing app. If anyone here had the Wii U and played tennis, you would probably know that your walls don't exist after a game of tennis on the Wii U. Or the Wii, sorry, not the Wii U. Yes, the Wii. I'm fast-forwarding in time and stuff too quickly. But Wii Tennis, unfortunately, left my walls in dire need of new repairs because apparently Hulk Hogan kept on coming through the walls.
Okay, Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah. Kool-Aid Man. Same guy. Hulk Hogan juiced up. Anyhow.
Allegedly.
The only thing again is, you had 3 separate segments. I love how you brought your brother back in the end. Every single one of those segments had, their own individual punchlines. What was the moral of the story at the end? And I think you cut yourself off a little short just because, you were saying you kind of need to bring yourself back down to earth, but what was that overall moral of the story? And that's the only missing ingredient, but you had everything else, though. Everything else there.
The Kinect doesn't track emotions fully.
The Kinect makes you violent. Yes, everyone, that's what we know about it.
Video games kill.
One more time, everyone, for Connor! All right, no worries. All right, Alkali's busy doing the things that Boozy and I clearly aren't responsible enough for, which is making sure the insurance is filed. So, I think after the fire story that we heard first, Alkali suddenly remembered, shit, do we have fire insurance?
Do now, because you're here! What? I'm sorry. Once could happen. 2 is a coincidence. You're a disaster.
Oh, I also remember the one time I lit my best friend on fire.
I'm doubling our insurance.
Do we have repeat acts?
Sure, thank you.
All right, anyone else? Anyone else for the stage? We've got, again, plenty of more. We have plenty. Oh, we have a fursuiter. We have our very first fursuiter of the night. Everyone, give a round of applause for
Cornell.
Cornell. Everyone, Cornell, my 8th favorite Ivy League university. Do you need a microphone?
Yes, please.
There we are.
I can try to use not the microphone.
Okay, Alkaline.
Oh, that would be more like this.
Damn, that was actually really good.
I have sung in a metal band before. I basically evoke that, and you get alkaline. I see we have this like American Idol style thing going on here. I don't remember who's Simon. Can I just find out who I should not look at the whole?
The nicest one.
You know what? I try hard enough to make an alkali accent without making it British. I won't try to massacre it in that way. So, thank you so much. I used to do these open mics a lot, and then I went to college, and I couldn't really go to cons that much. So, the last time I did this was Anthro, Ohio, 2018. So, it's been a hot minute. But anyway, my last FurSquared I went to, I was with a friend of mine. We went into one of his friends' rooms, and on the way out, there was one of those giant, like, human-sized fox plushies, like, right by the door. And we walked by, we commented on it, and we were going out, and he goes, yeah, I think my friend spent, like, $1,200 on that. I was like, yeah, it's crazy, man. And then he thought for a second, and he went, you know, if you're spending $1,000 on a plushie, you better be fucking it.
Allegedly fucking.
I wanted to start with that one because I wanted to set the tone for what the next 5 minutes of your life are going to be like. So, I was at home, kind of doing my thing, shooting the shit on the internet, and I get a telegram message from someone I've never talked to before. A relatively common occurrence. However, this one that I just got, verbatim, this was the message. Hello, Cornell. I would like to ask you a somewhat strange question about some of the artists you follow on Fur Affinity. Now, that's not a good question to get in any circumstance, but let me tell you what the context was after I was just like, sure? So he had found about 4 artists out of about 200 that I follow on Fur Affinity that had all done a commission for someone that involved farting in your face. Oh my God. And he wanted me to join his face farting group.
What is this fandom?
Anyway.
We're trying to find out.
Anyway, so now of course, naturally, that's probably not the reason why I follow those artists. Or maybe it is, who really knows? I mean, the furries are all over the place. But, so basically I declined him and I was like, sorry, that's not really my thing, I'm sorry. And he was so polite. He was like, oh, no, I totally get it, man. I understand. Thank you so much for your time. Like it was a business transaction of some kind. And you know what? Now, I was kind of shaken by the event. But when I thought back at it, I was like, that man was delightful. Am I missing out on something in the face farting community? Like, if these are the furries that the face flatulence-based subculture is producing, I feel like I'm missing out. Like, that was a really nice person. Anyway, Telegram is a wonderful place, and sometimes it can be a really weird place. There are these third-party Telegram apps out there that you can buy that you can use to sort your messages pretty well, and you can sort by DMs or groups or shout channels or something like that. I want to introduce the Telegram that lets you sort your contacts by kinks they're into. Because I swear to God, I am really tired of sending my friends my hypervore hyperdiaper scat fetish and having them... Alkaline?
What the fuck?
You need to stop. You are ruining my refined material.
I'm fucking dying.
I am tired of sending them really weird shit and having them stop talking to me. Now, I feel like if I could have some way to sort them, perhaps I would avoid this situation in the future. Although I will have to say, there is something particularly fun, perhaps in a sadistic way, of sending somebody something and leaving it there and just waiting like a little kid that handed you a can of peanuts with springy snakes in it. And just going, yes, open it. Tell me what you think. I find a weird thrill in that, just personally. But then just open it and go, oh, fuck! Okay, dude, what the fuck? All right. Yeah, anyway. So, do we all know what our fapping velocity is? No. Let me explain. Your velocity is how fast you do something. Now, some people like to keep it nice and easy, and then andante, like quarter note equals 76, something like that. Some people like to keep it a little bit more moderate, British march style, quarter note equals 112. I really understand that. My fapping velocity is quarter note equals 240, and really that is twice the speed of the Stars and Stripes Forever. Now, I know this because, you know, yeah, I sing our national march when I masturbate because I support my troops. God bless America.
I need your fur affinity profile, sir.
Let's just go with this. That was masterful.
That was.
You took sex humor which notoriously fails, and you nailed it, pun intended. The velocity joke and explaining velocity was absolutely killer, but honestly, it all comes down to one thing, your opening. You got everyone. You had a killer punchline and then just said, I just wanted to prepare you for the next 4.5 minutes. You did it. That was one of the best stand-ups I've ever seen here. Thank you so much, and I want to see you up here so goddamn often. That's okay. It's getting worse.
That's not okay.
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is nice things.
These are the nicer things at the con.
Thank you for not setting it on fire.
Nice things stay nice.
We didn't start the fire.
Blank check.
Do we have feet insurance?
What?
What does the smoke mean?
What does the smoke mean? What? All right. We lost. Well, I don't think it's plugged in anymore. All right, we lost one. That happens. No, we got it. We got it. It's alive.
Yeah, we got the ominous FurSquared entrance here. All right.
We just lost one.
All right. So new rule: no matter how funny you are, don't break my shit. Who would like to try next? Ooh. Then I'm going to just point at a person. You. That was a joke. I know who he is, and I know he's willing. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Tino! Yeah, you got to think of something, huh?
I know. Yeah, baby!
Okay.
Well, I started this convention pretty good, right? Oh, come on, I don't believe you. We're having fun this weekend. What am I talking about? Let's all get drunk, crazy, play new game like whose dick is in my mouth. That's the kind of weird we having. All right. Fuck, I like text me. He's like, dude, where you at? Come over here. I was like, dude, last time I ran for an ice cream truck. What the fuck's wrong with me? What was it we were playing last night?
That'd be Lupus.
That drinking game?
Oh, the drinking game is Slap Cup.
Well, what the fuck were you doing last night?
Lupus!
So we're playing this drinking game. Don't play with this man. He's a fucking cheater. All right? He's telling them rules as we're going on. He's like, yeah, you see how you're drinking right now? Well, you missed your chance to shoot this ball in. Go ahead and take another drink. By the time I was done, I was like thinking, oh shit, I never even done before. I'm like, dude, I'm going to work out. I'm going to lose weight. You know, shit we never do before. Yeah, that's all. So watch out for this man. I can't trust him anymore. Oh, but man, like I said, let's have fun. I love this convention. I've never been to something like this before. And you people are just something else. Shit I heard and seen, I had never thought of. last year one person's like, hey, she likes you and everything. I'm like, oh, wow, all right, she's not bad too. Yeah, she wants to fuck you. I'm like, well, okay, that's how it. He's like, no, she wants to you. So I played dumb. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, do you know what pegging is? So I said, no, maybe it might be different in a different world. Because I don't go Pornhub like that. That's not my word search. I'll do ding dong and tits, but that's going too far itself. So no, I meant the same thing. Now, I don't drink, but with a little someone in this room, I'm not going to mention, no names, I started to haggle. I was like, well, do I get anything out of this? No, back the fuck up, I got this. You meet halfway. I'm like, you Jewish, you know how this shit works? No, I'm getting the 50-50. I got a coupon, damn it. Oh, man, it's something else. Oh, but I go outside and I tell everyone about this. And you know what? And I also think about growing up. I think the reason why we're all here, because we all come from a fucked up family, haven't we? Woo! Whoever not cheered on that is full of shit. Because we all been beat, molested. I don't have a fuck.
Allegedly. You fucked that cow.
See, look like saying, y'all something else. You got no damn shame. Look at him, he's gonna have a stroke right here. Oh, God, Lord Jesus. But anyway, yeah, so growing up, man, like I said, especially with your parents, you don't understand how broken you are till you grow up and realize what your parents have done to you. Like, I remember I was 18, and I went out shopping with my mom, and there was this beautiful girl walking by doing some shopping. So I'm flirting, pretend I'm looking at some Oreos and stuff. Well, let me say one thing. I was in shape instead of a shape at this time. So that's a big factor y'all gotta know. So I'm sitting there, we're flirting back and forth, smiling. Then you hear a beautiful voice in the background. Hey, meow. Meow. They got Get the Crunch. You like Get the Crunch, right? No, just ignore it. Hey, meow. They got Star Wars Story. You like Star Wars? I'm like, shut up! I look at the girl, I'm like, this ain't gonna happen, isn't it? She's, no. And she walks away, I'm like, damn. My mom comes up to me, she's like, oh, mijo, she's too pretty for you. That shit ain't gonna happen. See, that was great when you're young and stuff, but then when you get older, shit starts to change even more. Now you realize you gotta take medication. You go visit your doctor. And my doctor, Dr. Nolis is, let me tell you something. First, he's an old-fashioned 65 Korean doctor. Now he comes up to me, he's like, Dino, you fuck. I was like, well, you're not starving yourself, fucker. He's like, I don't give a shit, you fat. I'm like, well, I could kick your ass. He's like, you God is forgiving God. My God is warrior God, so my God can kill you. Fucking ass. I'm like, Doctor No, is everything okay? He's like, oh no, my wife is leaving me. Shit, Doctor No, man, I'm sorry, come here. At least I got a wife, you got hand. But you know what? I'm gonna end it off on this one. Like, my man right there, when he was, I started thinking, because how everything happened, like with this whole impeachment thing, and I don't get political. I try not to be that person. But when, hearing this whole impeachment thing, and then people bringing up the whole, well, Bill Clinton, he cheated on his wife and everything on their oath. I'm like, he got head in the office. Now, I would lie to him because my wife is right there. And by the way, you are the president of the United States. I don't support Trump. I don't give a shit. But if he comes up to me, he's like, Tino, I am stressed out and I need a blowjob from you to save your country. Well, goddamn, Mr. President. I'm like I said, I'm not gay, but all right, what can I do for my country? Not what it can do for me, damn it. And you know what? I will swallow it with pride. Oh my God! I will courtesy flush that shit right now.
God.
More life.
More like,
Alright, no one go off the front of the stage! Also, we need that tape that says, please don't break my shit.
by the way, I tripped leaning over. I've been drinking.
Yes, that's the tape! Woo. I'm totally gonna pull that speaker over.
You know, next year.
Actually, I just realized how horrible this is gonna look. Awesome.
You know, next year you can have tape that says that don't break me.
Wait, we can just make Don't Break Me tape? Can I cover myself in it and be the safest mummy?
Sure, why not?
Thanks.
It'll probably hurt when you rip it off.
Guys, one more time for my good friend who's been doing stand-up. He's been doing stand-up for about 10 years. I wanted him to join us in the room and have some fun. Thank you so much for that. Seriously, dude, it's good to see you again. All right, who would like to go next?
For the record, I only done it free for him. I got extra paper.
Not the first time I've heard that. All right, so we need another volunteer. Guys, we have time for one more. Who would like to be our last act of the night? Somebody wants to try this. Somebody has a skid in their head and you're worried about going up there. And I don't believe for a second that you don't have the balls or the guts or the tits to do it. I don't know how it works. I don't know how to not be sexual on that one. Who wants to try this one? Who? Oh. Well, I think we know what that means. Boozy, it's your turn.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for one of my partners of comedy. Give it up for the Boozy Basher! I hate me too. Hey, don't trip over the lights, because you'll die.
Twice. Did you know that? Is this even on?
It's probably set for my level. Use that one.
Here. Don't give me the quiet mic, Screeny! Good job!
Got it! First bounce! Just like my son. Perfect.
Did you know the Holocaust Museum has a gift shop? I discovered that the last time I went to D.C. Seemed a little out of place. I know they say you shouldn't forget, but I don't think a keychain's a fun way to remember. Like they had fun educational things for kids. You know, everyone's favorite board game, Don't Wake Himmler. Sorry, I told him. Jesus fucking Christ.
Going to America the Beautiful!
How are y'all doing? I'm tired and I have nothing planned.
Yeah.
So you got the Holocaust Museum joke. Oh. Sorry, I drove 18 hours to get here. It was not planned that I was going to drive 18 hours to get here because it's a 12-hour drive. And then I drove through western Pennsylvania and it snowed and I went off the road. I met a very nice tow truck driver. And I'm worn out. And people say, why do you drive to conventions? And the truth of the matter is, I hate flying. I flew to MFF 2 years ago. I woke up at 5 a.m. I drove to Baltimore to fly to Detroit. Now, I don't live in Baltimore. I live in Philadelphia, so I'm not sure why the hell I had to go to Baltimore, except it was $100 cheaper, and he may be Jewish. But God damn it. I got on the plane, I looked up, there was a priest walking down the center aisle towards me, sat down. Now when I say priest, let me describe it. You're thinking a small man with a white collar, right? Just very congenial old man. No. We're talking a guy probably about this tall, this wide, and with a cross roughly the size of a rapper's clock. I sent a text message to a friend of mine who who is dating a retired priest, because that's a thing, apparently, by the way. Did you know God has a 401k? I didn't. And he turned to his boyfriend, the retired priest, and told him about the Father Flava Flav. It was told to me that's probably a bishop, more than likely. Because the higher up you get in the church, and I did not know this, so fun fact, the higher up you get in the Catholic Church, the bigger the crucifix is. Right? I wasn't aware of that, but now I imagine the Pope is driving around with a fucking cross on a semi. Right? With that strangely chiseled Jesus on the back. You know that Jesus. The priest sits down beside me. We flew from Baltimore to Detroit. Now, I don't know why I had to go to Detroit. I wasn't getting off the plane in Detroit. Nobody wakes up and says, you know, I have a free weekend and I want to go to a place with a lot of art and culture and brotherhood and love that's safe to walk around at night. Let's fly to Detroit. I stood up, I said farewell to my Jesus friend. I got off the plane, I got on my new plane, and I went all the way to the back of the plane to the seat right there by the toilet, because as you know, that is the cheapest seat. Sat down and thought, now I can go to Chicago, and I looked up, and here came Father Flava Flav. Walking down the middle of the aisle. He sat down next to me, and now I had to engage in small talk. We've sat next to each other on 2 flights. He believes it is destiny that we will be speaking with each other. He looks at me, he says, where are you going? I go, Chicago. He goes, why are you going there? I looked at him and I said, bondage convention. I invited him along, he didn't want to. We got off the plane, we parted ways. I went to the hotel, I walked in, I walked up to the counter. And they told me that my room was not ready yet. They would call me when it was ready. My room remained not ready at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and 6 p.m. until I went back up to the counter and looked at the lady at the front desk and I said, ma'am, I don't know what you're doing in there. But if somebody killed a hooker in my room, leave it. I want to take a shower. I smell like priest. That's all I got for you all. Thank you.
I understand. That's why I wanted. Dude, that's a warm-up.
Yeah, that is a warm-up.
That's a warm-up. Get ready for tomorrow.
Oh, that your sleepless thing. That's the one for tomorrow after you had a full night of sleep. Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, we've got literally 3 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to try this for a very quick second?
I got one joke.
You got one joke. Go.
I got one joke.
Go. Get over there. One joke. Here we go. One joke. What's your name?
Angus, you can call me Angus.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Angus!
My next door neighbor came over the other night, knocking on the door at 2 in the morning. You can believe that, 2 in the morning. And so I come to the door and knocking there, and he comes in, and he's all upset. And luckily, I was still up practicing my bagpipes.
Guys, give it up for me! All right, we're going to finish this off with an old one. Oh boy. Long time ago, I used to run a game called Nero. When I ran that game, sometimes we'd have a 3-day event. If you don't want to know what Nero is D&D. If you're a bigger nerd than D&D nerds. And a 3-day event means you will be awake for 36 hours minimum.
Guilty!
Yeah, I know. I've got some of my Nero friends in the room with me, which is why I'm reminding them that this is how I almost died! One evening, I decided it was time to go home. I needed to leave immediately. It was 2 in the morning. I had been awake for over 30 hours, and my buddy was in the car with me. My buddy was in the room right now. You can ask. Thanks for the help. We got behind the car, I got behind the wheel, and I started driving. I started driving from Champaign, Illinois. Does anyone know where Champaign, Illinois is? No, you do not. You are wrong. It is just a giant wasteland. It's basically like Fallout 44, which is not the right number, so screw you.
No, that's Peoria.
Oh yeah, that's also right. I was driving down Route Question Mark. Route Question Mark has an amazing attraction on it, a single light. Once you pass it, that's it. It's just darkness and cows. He totally fucked that guy. And while I was driving down this street, 30 hours awake, haven't slept in days, my good friend asleep next to me in the seat, because honestly, I figured he'd need to drive eventually. And all of a sudden, I see a school bus.
What?
2 in the morning! Middle of a rural highway. I am going 60, and there is a school bus in front of me, and this will not stand! Those kids fart. I'll smell it. So I started to speed up, and the school bus started to speed up. So, I'm not allowing this. I started hitting the acceleratrix, and the school bus accelerated. And I got angry. Flying down the road at, oh my God, 110 miles an hour. At least I thought 110, because that's how high the speedometer went. But I could not catch this school bus. Have you ever had a moment in your life? A moment of pure realization. A moment where the universe, even for the briefest moment, makes sense. I had that moment. And as I was driving at 110 plus miles per hour, I slowly applied the brake. I started to reach over to wake up my friend. I pulled the car to the side of the road, and he looked at me, said, "Why the hell did you wake me up?" And I said, "Do you see the school bus?" He said, "No!" I go, "Do you see the yellow lines in the middle of the road?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "I've thought that was a school bus for about 12 miles. You need to drive." That is one of my all-time favorites because it was the scariest and most wonderful moment of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my FurSquared open mic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your body. My name is Uncle, and more importantly, thank you for being here. Guys, be here next year. I want to see this panel packed. I want to see you here for support, but more importantly, I want to see your skits. You got a year to write them. You got a year to practice. You saw what can be done. Guys, blow us away. This is one of my favorite panels of all time, and it is a pleasure and an honor to run it for you. Thank you very much, and good night! Encore. That was the encore. That was. All right.
Silver Gattoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gattoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gattoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.